Hey guys, Cathy Iconis here with QBOchat. I am here today for Coffee with Cathy. It's time. And remember my left-handed issue, this one's different. Maybe this is left-handed one today. So here's Stand Up to Cancer, my coffee cup today. And I am ready to chat with you guys and to see what all is going on this week. So hi, how you doing? What's going on? Today I wanted to do a little bit different of a thing where I talked about, I had a topic in mind. I was inspired. I had a topic in mind. So I was hoping to wait a minute or two for people to join us for the conversation. I really want you guys to comment along and share whatever you're thinking and all of that fun stuff. So it doesn't have to be, your comments don't have to be about firing bad clients. It can be with whatever maybe you're struggling with and I can get to today. I can guarantee you I'll probably be interrupted. My daughter is home today with a little swollen eyelid, which we're going to go to the doctor later and figure out what it is. But she can't stay away. I know she won't be able to. So it is what it is. And then, so I have to go and I'll have to go like really do a 30-minute session today versus sometimes I talk for an hour. So we'll keep it to, I'll drop off at 10 this morning. So, but anyways, firing bad clients. Who out there has dealt with that? I'll tell you, I actually phrase that in a way to get people's attention and maybe get under your skin a little bit because of that terminology, bad clients. Because when we go into relationships with clients, we never think of them as bad. And I'll talk to you more from my personal experience and how I feel. I might be more of a bleeding heart than some accountants, but I know that when I go into a relationship with a client and I hear about what their struggles are and how they're dealing in business and what all's going on, all I want to do is help. All I want to do is help them and make life easier for them. And sometimes I get wrapped up, in that emotional, whirlpool or whatever, that I just, I get stuck in I want to make things better. Ooh, itchy nose. I want to make things better for them, make life easier and all of that. But what happens for me, at least, is I get wrapped up into that and I'll start crossing my own boundaries. Basically, I've set up my practice where I have systems in place and this is how I do things, right? And I'll customize it for a client based on their workflow of things. But usually when I start to say, okay, I'll change my process for you, tends to be, me starting to cross a boundary of my own personal boundary with what I do and in my practice. And when you start jumping past that, then it's going to impact your business. I believe it's going to be a negative impact on what you're doing, your profitability. I bet you that you're going to end up spending more time on this client trying to make them feel better, and you're chasing after this for them. For some clients, there's nothing that you can do to make them feel better, or it's just nothing that the way you are set up to do things is going to make them feel better. I have been in the situation where I was breaking up with a client and both of us were crying in the same room because we wanted to help and we wanted it to be a good fit. We were just so frustrated. It just wasn't working. And it was, what does the client want versus what I do? And, she just didn't understand, why aren't you doing that. And I'm like, well, that's not how my business is set up. And I've tried to like work around it and try to make it better for you. And we're at odds, and we can't get to that place. So again, I said bad clients for a reason in here, because majority of the time you're not going to think that they're bad clients to start out with. You're going to pour your heart into it and try to help them as best you can. And the problem is when you keep on going down that funnel of getting stuck in trying to make them happy and trying to make them, a satisfied customer with everything, at what point are you losing yourself in that process? You need to find a line in the sand of, okay, at this point, I can't do anymore. And it's for your own benefit. And what I've noticed that I've done is that I will move past what helps my business or helps me and do something for the client. And at what point, we're talking about accounting and bookkeeping and stuff like this here. At what point is your own mental health, physical health, anything like that worth less than what the client needs? And how likely are you actually going to be able to please that client, right? Because you've gotten so far down this rabbit hole of trying to help them, trying to figure out a way, what can I do, all of that sort of stuff, and you're not getting to where you want to be. So you have to have a mind in place, or a spot in place as to, okay, when is this enough? When is this too much for me? I know I've gotten from advice from Stacy Kildall. She'll tell people this, that when you get to the point that you don't want to pick up the phone from your client, it's a bad sign that, I think they've crossed that emotional point where they're impacting you way too much than they need to. And it's a sign. It's a sign. So, again, I don't think in majority of cases that there really are bad clients. What really happens is they're just not clients that are right for you and right for your firm. And it's really hard to come to terms with that and deal with that, because I know for me, I'll feel like a failure because I couldn't find the right fit for them or solution. That's how I felt over the years. The more confidence I've gained in myself, in what I do, and the more like good clients I've had, good fits that I've had, the more comfortable I feel with telling someone, you're not a good fit or my firm's not a good fit for you. It's just, you're not going to be happy with it. And I don't want to put you in a situation where you're not happy. Right. Just because of how you do business and how I do business. And, examples of someone wanting to tell me how to enter every single transaction. You really just want someone on site. You really want to just pay someone part-time to do it. If that's where your mindset is and that's where you think you need to be, I can't change your mind and really convince you that you need someone that has accounting and bookkeeping experience, that knows what they're doing, how to create awesome systems and processes and handle it all for you. If you can't handle that, if you can't let go, it's not going to be a good fit. We're just going to both end up unhappy in this situation. That's just not fair to anyone. So that's my thoughts on like bad clients. I know before I started my practice, I remember sitting in a CPE course, continuing education, and they were talking about the difference between QuickBooks and Peachtree. And there was a lot of client bashing. The clients are going to do this, and they're going to do that. They're going to mess up this. They're going to mess up that. And it really irritated me because it felt like there was hatred or annoyance to the clients. And over the years, from my experience, so that was me not really working with the clients like that. I can see the point where some clients, yes, sometimes they're putting in stuff wrong or they're doing something. But I feel like I've set up my practice where in the majority of cases, I'm taking stuff away from them where they would create errors. So we do the bank feeds, or we enter stuff into bill.com, or we do that, but then they're still a part of the process of either approving bills, answering questions, something like that. They're still invested, but we take away the stuff that can cause these problems where, bookkeepers get so annoyed with people of, like, well, they're just doing this and now I'm going to have to fix all that and da 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 da. If you're in that situation, then it's not a good client for you. And obviously sometimes you're the staff person on that. You don't have a say. You just have to do the work. Or sometimes you just need the money and you're just going to do what you need to do, right? You need to feed the family and everything. You're just going to do it. But don't think that you're going to take on a client that is a bad client in that term, not a good fit for you, and they're going to turn around and send you referrals, because they're going to send you the same kind of clients, right, as they are. You don't want more of those. You want to find a place of, okay, if I can get them to a point, and then I'll tell them that it's time for them to get another accountant or bookkeeper, or just not a fit, something like that, to kind of hand them off and feel more comfortable with it so that they can go on, then that's what you need to do. You need to have some sort of plan in place as to how are you going to let them go. I know I had one client that was just taking up a ton of time, and I couldn't keep up with the pricing. And I've told you guys before that I hate having the pricing conversation with clients. So that's really why I do fixed fees and I set it up. Well, they were growing so much that I couldn't keep up with it. So I'd get a fixed fee in place, and it was one of those Scott, thanks. Good point. You are not going to change the client. There you go. Yeah, you're not. And that's the thing, is you can have that conversation with the client, and especially at the beginning, and know what they're comfortable with letting go and what they're not. And you almost need to find out where their boundaries are to see if you can, integrate with them well enough to that you're not going over their boundaries. Like, are you comfortable with me looking at your bank account? Are you, yeah. I mean, my big thing is when I ask potential clients, that I'm like, I need to see your QuickBooks Online file before I can give you any idea on pricing. So are you okay with giving me the login information? And here's that. And inevitably they do. But if someone says no, then I'm going to be like, I can't come up with any pricing for you. I can't do anything then. So maybe not a good fit. Yeah, I don't know. So it's, what was I saying? So this client I had, big client, I just wasn't able to keep up with them on the pricing. They were just growing so much, and we were doing so much for them. And it was a lot of manual stuff where I had to do a lot of workarounds with the apps they were using and all of that. So it got to the point I was like, I really think they need someone in there full time and not us virtually, because the amount that they're paying us for part-time doing bookkeeping stuff, they could probably be paying someone full-time in-house that doesn't necessarily have as much experience and knowledge that I do, but will accomplish all the tasks. Because at this point, it's just tasks and getting them done, and that, flowing forward sort of thing. And if the books get messed up later, then there's someone like me, whatever, to help them, right, get it right in place. But there was a lot of manual stuff on there. And it just kept on getting more and more and more. Well, I got to the point that I planned out, okay, how am I going to let go of this client? Because it was a good paying client, right? And, how am I going to deal with that? you have to look at your financials, see where you are, see what you can handle, what you can't. Can you get rid of this client? Or what do you need to do in order to get rid of this client? Do you need to cut back on staff? Do you need to, I don't know, all the different things. But you want to have some sort of plan, because really you want to get rid of that client before that client gets rid of you. You want it to be on your terms, because otherwise that way you can plan for it, right? And you want to do it in the best way, professional as possible. And when I let go of clients, I give them more information. I feel more comfortable, like, here's everything you need. Here's some of my work papers. Here's, I just want to make it as easy for you going forward, because I couldn't do it. We couldn't find that right fit between us. So I just want to, here's everything you need. Versus if someone finds someone else that's like, hey, and then they let me know that they hired someone, if they've obviously gone through pricing with someone else, looked at the books and said, I can do this, and whatever, I'm less likely to turn stuff over, because they came in, they did the pricing, they know, they probably have their systems in place and what they need to do. If they just want to copy my stuff, makes me feel a little uncomfortable. I don't know. Is that hypocritical to go either have a different response on either side? It's my guilt in the first one. So anyways, with that client, I did finally get into a position where I was like, okay, I need to let you guys go. I can't support you guys anymore, blah, blah, blah. And, we kind of worked out a relationship where I helped them for a couple of months until they found someone, which was hard on me, but we worked out a pricing thing. So it all, I felt comfortable with what I was getting paid. They knew that they were on the right track to find someone, what they needed to find. They had that time to find the right person. So, we got into a good place, and then we finally handed it off and everything. And the best thing about letting go of a client is the stress relief you feel afterwards, because you're working like so hard for this client. You're trying to make them happy. You're trying to do everything. And it's just so much more, right? That once it's gone, it's you've let go of that stress. You have far more time to be able to focus on what you want to be doing versus what you have to be doing just to maintain that client because you need the money. And, all of that negativity stuff, it's worth it to be able to let that go, so you can open yourself up to another client, a new client. Like, what are you going to do next? And I would say, even when you know that you're planning on getting rid of a client, have in your mind of what you are going to do next. You might not be able to implement all of that. You need to be ready for not having that revenue for a couple of months, but think of, okay, once that client goes, what am I going to do with my extra time? How am I going to grow my business in a positive way going forward and find positive clients, good clients that fit my firm, and that aren't like a drain on me. So again, no bad client, just bad fit for you. And it doesn't make someone mean and horrible and everything like that to say that they're a bad client for you. It's just, it doesn't, personality, system setups, everything, it's just not going to work, right? Just not going to work. So those are my thoughts on firing a bad client or letting go. I've had several over the years, 9 years. I've had a lot of clients go. And it's usually the really bigger ones, because it's like you have that fear of, how am I going to be able to do business without that revenue? Because it's a big chunk of my monthly revenue. How am I going to handle this? But I'm working twice as hard on that client than I am on any other client. So you really need to look at your profitability on clients, see where you are, see if you are maintaining the right thing, and just do a gut check of like, is this client making me happy, or are they just stressing me out all the time? It's okay, some stress, but if it's all the time and you don't even want to touch it, then that's a sign for you, because you want to create a positive life for yourself, and money doesn't necessarily bring positivity into your life, right? It could be a negative energy, and you don't want that if you can avoid it. I'm not saying that I haven't taken on clients or been hungry for stuff early on. I definitely was. I would just take whatever I can get. I'm so excited. I get clients coming in, all that sort of stuff. But it evolves over time, and the longer you're in practice, and you get more confident and knowledgeable of what do you want, what kind of clients do you want and want to work with. And you'll get to the point that you'll have like red flags when you talk to new leads. I know one thing I do is I never, ever negotiate on price. It's like I come up with a price and I say, here it is. Here's my price. And if they can't afford it, I'll be like, okay, well, here are all the things that I said I was going to do. Do you want to handle any of those things? So that we can take away some of my tasks. So you would pay less, but you have to own those, which, yeah, then that doesn't always end out well. But if they come back and they want to negotiate on price, it's not a good sign, because they don't value you at what you already said, like, and here's another thing. My personality, I'm not good at the pricing conversation. So if someone wants to already negotiate on price, that means I'm going to be put in an uncomfortable situation a lot that I don't want to deal with. I just want someone to accept what the fee is. And I have several clients that do it, so it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, I'm not completely out of the market on pricing and stuff. So I just want them to accept it so I can give you 100% of my energy and my passion for business and everything to help you out. And I want to focus on that, not the money stuff. So yeah, there's red flags like that, or red flags of, well, I have to have a meeting and talk about it today. Well, if you are so inflexible, even at the beginning, then it might be an issue later on. Like I had one where I was like, I'm going on vacation next week. It's been planned. I will be out of the office and blah, blah, blah. Well, no, I need this done. I need a proposal. I need blah, blah, blah. And somehow I got talked into it. Again, I was hungry for the client, right? And I got talked into it. So I was doing work on vacation. And then I'm having a conversation about, what all we're going to do and whatever. And I'm still selling and I'm still working hard, versus it. And most of my conversations with new clients is like, okay, I tell them what I do and I start to listen to them. Well, actually I listen to them first and I hear about their situation, and I tell them what I do, how I do things. And they feel pretty much committed at that point. And so if they aren't from like that, yeah, if you have to keep on selling, at what point do you need to keep on selling? So Scott, a CPA from a large firm told me that a few bad clients will be poisonous to your business because your attitude with those bad clients will creep into your interactions with good clients. That felt good to hear. Absolutely. And now I'm like out of the realm of the thing. But no, absolutely. I think it applies to big firms and small firms. I know other people that have, like at the end of the year, they go through their lists and, I don't know, shed 20% or something like that. Because then if you're at that point looking at your profitability at the end of the year and how you did for the year on these clients, and you know that they're not meeting your standard of profitability, then either you need to raise prices. And if they don't accept that price increase, then let them go. Let them go find someone else, because there's always someone else out there. And it's okay. Scott, you said another red flag is when meeting or talking with a prospect is when that business owner takes no responsibility for anything and has a long list of people to blame for the past. Yes, absolutely. It's the past bookkeeper that did this and they messed everything up and blah, blah, blah. And the owner really has no clue how anything operates. They just leave it to everyone else. And when the business is failing, it's their fault. Yeah, it's everyone else's fault. It's not happening, but they don't spend the time to, really invest in their business and figure out what's working, what's not working. Yeah, I get it. And again, those people, I'm kind of more like, maybe you just hire someone just to do what you want them to do. And if you don't understand it, if you don't, like, they're not of the point yet in their growth experience to appreciate it. And maybe one day they will be. But right now, you can't show someone everything you can do with numbers and how to use the numbers and everything if they're not open to it. And then they're not ready to learn about that, or they're not eager or hungry for that information. If they want to go like, I want to stop doing this and I want to grow my business and my biggest hurdle is this, I need help. Like, that is the client that I love, and as long as they don't have a ton of transactions, because it's just me, right? And I do all the QBOchat stuff. I do training, so I can't invest a whole bunch of time into clients. But if they can get in I streamline the process and make it really easy, and I can add a whole bunch of benefit to you in your practice or your firm, your business, whatever we're calling it, then I'm ready to help. That's the thing, is I just want to help businesses be better, but I can't let people take advantage of me because I have that desire. And that's really hard to balance, and it's really something you need to look out for yourself and figure out, internally, what can I handle and what can I not? And, maybe you do at the end of the year, let go of some clients. Think of it as a Christmas present to yourself. I'm giving myself less stress in the next year by letting go of these clients. I'm giving back to myself, because we get so wrapped up with what the client needs and wants that we forget ourselves and what do we need and want. So it's important to balance the two. At no point should the client come before your own health and well-being. And that's been a hard lesson for me to hand off and to put up that boundary. Because I find myself in that position of God, I'm just doing all this and it hurts, or I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. And it shouldn't be that way. You should be getting something out of the relationship other than just being paid. It should be energizing you, fulfilling you. It should be a passion, something that you're excited about. And don't let it be a drain on you. And like I said, there is always going to be someone else for them. It is okay to tell them, I'm not perfect. I'm not the right fit for you. But I think, maybe this other firm would be. And if you don't think they're a good client, just don't refer them to anyone. Just say, I'm not a good fit for you. But if you do think that maybe they would fit with someone else, tell them, and say, hey, I know this other person that handles your niche or does this. Like, for example, inventory clients. I'm not good at inventory. I've tried it. I'm not good at it. And I want you to have someone that's confident in what they do and good at it. Like, I can figure it out, but it's going to take me a lot of energy to do it. And I feel like takes me more than someone else that is in inventory all the time and understands it. So why should a client work with me when they could have an expert in inventory and knows exactly how to help them and stuff, and knows which apps to use, knows how to work those apps and do all of that. Let them do it. So, and then you can move on and keep on finding a better fit for you. Well, so that's my 30 minutes on firing bad clients. And yeah, so it's different than what you were expecting, hopefully. And yeah, don't feel bad about it. You got to find out what's right for you. But for me, I got to go take the kid to the doctor. So I'm going to sign off, but thank you for your time. And I'll be putting this up on YouTube later for you guys to watch. And let's see, this Thursday for the Twitter chat on QBOchat Twitter chat, 3 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be talking about scary books. So it's our Halloween Twitter chat where you can just tell us scary stories of things that have happened in the past. So join us there if you want. Join us in Build Your Best QBO Practice, have conversations in there, and make sure to like the Facebook page for QBOchat, because that is where you're going to get notifications for these live events. And it's important for you guys to get that stuff, right? And we do articles and more stuff of informational versus the Facebook group is more conversational. Does it make sense? I don't know. So anyways, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.